Good morning, I am Laura Daniela Cardoso Pinzon from the 10th grade of Colegio Liceo Ibagué. The Chilling Story of a Demon Dog. On July 16, 1980, Isabella and her family moved to another city, Gangster home. The property that would be his new home was in Salem, in the Lockdown of Massachusetts. Isabella was a 17-year-old girl who was a very sociable girl. He was not a person who would be afraid of paranormal things, but he was curious and anxious to get to silence as soon as possible. On July at 1600 p.m., Isabella and his family would arrive at their new home. Isabella was a little disappointed to see that the city was not she expected or rather imagined. After Isabella finished fixing her room by hanging posters of her favorite singers, it came and the young woman would speak. She was quite sleepy, but when her saw the face of the people she had on the posters everywhere, they were somewhat distorted images. I was in a house that I had never seen. There were some relatives, including my older brother and our father. Sometimes happened that I do not remember. There I saw my brother, Jane, living alone. No, I escaped. He grabbed his hair and followed him. My surprise father looked at him. Meanwhile, my heart was pounding. How would you to want to drown myself in a place that was full of good bushes? I well would. There was no white out at that moment. I thought. Isabella folks to a neighbor of hers who claimed that yours would they performed tiny rituals at Isabella's house, which is she believed they were the girl's nightmares, so the days went beyond. Isabella kept dreaming a real horrible things night after night. She didn't want to say anything until one afternoon she saw her 5 years old sister Molly playing with a dog that came out in her nightmares. She immediately removed the object from her hands and said, "Don't ever play with that again. Do you understand?" The guy nodded. Night fell and Isabella went to her neighbor's house to tell her what happened with her sister Molly. The girl said, "Isabella, if you want, let's go to the house of a woman who lived around those times. She must come something." The other father was a man by every full of hatred, always frowning, high-frowned, and responds badly to people. Turns out the after like his because he was jealous of the other parent. I wanted to be center of attention and he wanted to feel needed with the people. The girls looked at the woman without even looking the continuing woman. It signed and it verified in myself. That's me, man, waiting to sound on the seated, seek help from the evil one. One night they invoked the devil in the house of good. He appeared to him in spirit form, letting him come that if he wanted his heel, we have the market some sacrifice. Isabella asked what kind of sacrifice. The woman replied, "Do you really want me to continue?" The sacrifice that the father had to make was with a dog he had to kill in the middle of the church, and the thus after is called to the evil that horrible Isabella as the law does. Nothing girl pay attention. The woman continues her story to the father having he went the keen eyes showed to the devil this had him a class of gifts to perform exorcisms to the inhabitants that had himself possessed and thus the man would had found in the city is to say that he was the one who processed the witches Isabella asked in a certain part as they decide if there were the witches, but they weren't the ones who were causing the seizures and scars. It was the devil, so that the father called exorcisms the young people. Now tell me how you want from me. Asked the woman what happens is that my friend a week after having come to life in her new house he has having dreaming horrible times and in all his dreams there is a dog. At that moment the girl hides the description that Isabella had already told him at the time, and not only that, my sister Molly was playing with a doll of a dog identical to the one appears in dreams with an angustious face. The woman said, "That's the dog that the father sacrificed." They showed it that of their house immediately and told Joe how. The woman asked the young people to bring the dog and they will have to search the basin. Some escaped from the house. This awoke the young woman brought this to the woman house sign. He said afterwards in the language that is uncouth every time was silent until a tall man white purple teeth, yellow juice from which blood came out and his nose was big, its eyes veins with hair and with very long nails, he carried a gun. His big hand in the tip had a skull from which blood was oozing. The woman started crying and denying me really strong things on the she said. Get out of the house, girl in pace, don't chase her anymore. In dreams how now and keep adding unfamiliar words so it ended. Apparently of all these was the product of dream from which Isabella was very awakened. The will kept dreaming many things, but more the causing her fear. It was doing something truly amazing to her.